Yizzo!
Hello. Peace, Queen.
Peace, Queen. How are you doing?
I'm faring well. How are you?
You're faring well. Praise God.
Won't he do it? Won't she do it? Won't they do it?
Won't she do it? They do it.
To God.
God. What's crack-a-lacking? Give me an update. Tell me about yourself. What's going on? You ride around and making money this weekend?
We did. We popped up in Philly. Shout out to Philly for showing love. We're at Love Park.
Who's we?
The Sable Collective was at Love Park. And it was really nice. It was beautiful on Saturday. It was really, really hot. It was like, was it hot in New York?
Yes, it was
so
beautiful
hot
on Saturday.
And then Sunday was the complete opposite. I had a fucking winter jacket on and was freezing. But a lot of, again, around the way curls folks showed up. You know who you are. Shout out to EG.
Really?
Yes, shout out to y'all. They're around the way curls OGs that turn into Sable Johns by osmosis. But like, I had one woman that came up. She had 3 children with her, and I was just admiring their hair. They all had their natural hair. Some had locks. There was a little girl that just had her natural hair out. And it's a beautiful family, and she bought her stuff, and I noticed that she had like the army jacket on. So I was like, oh, it's an OG Sable John. And she purchased her stuff. And then maybe like an hour later, I was just sitting down, and she walked back up, and she explained that she'd been with us since like the YouTube days, and how she, how we really helped her with her natural hair journey, and just genuinely thanked us. And I was like, it was amazing to me, because if we had anything to do, just a tiny inkling with her being able to show up naturally, or like, I don't know if naturally is the best way to show up, but like for her to
as herself, as she's comfortable,
and to do that, and then have her children like that that's just the way that you exist, feels like that feels really good. So thank you to that lovely being who came up, because I know it'd be scary telling people like, thank you for the ways in which you helped me. So I know I'm scared of that, but no, she did it very confidently and very just sincerely. So, I just had a lot of homies. I hope the other lovely lady from Baltimore, she had a Baltimore Bay. I hope y'all had fun and enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too raggedy for you. Because I was there like,
you from Baltimore, you thought it was too raggedy? God
no, they
damn,
were. I was trying to say that Philly was raggedy, and they were like, bitch, you have not been to Baltimore. And I was like, but I was trying to give them recommendations, and of course, I don't know anything, so
they're like, oh, you can go to Mad Max.
I had nowhere to send them, but I hope they had. I hope it was fun.
You should have sent them for Ethiopian.
I think they were vegetarian. Actually, I made that up. Sorry.
That would have been perfect.
Sorry. I'm so against Ethiopian. I guess
vegetarian Ethiopian food.
Girl, oh, the way it was. I went this weekend. It was. Oh God, it was so good.
What's the name of Abyssinia? Right?
Abyssinia on 42nd and Pine, I think it is. Y'all better go. 43rd. But all in all, just showing up every day, girlfriend. Showing up and showing out. How are you?
I'm good. I had a great weekend. I had a really eventful weekend. I am tired. I am really I'm tired in the best of ways. So, obviously my birthday was last weekend. I had 0 plans. When I tell you 0 plans, I was just going to let that day come on and go. My girlfriend asked me what I was doing. And I said, I think I'm just going to go for a walk. I just need to decompress. I'm just going to take it all in, figure out what I want this year to be for myself. I'm starting a lot of new things. And so my people were like, yeah, you thought. And a Thursday I went to the K Tronada concert, which was a complete surprise to me
Your
and had such a
actually
great
literal
time.
birthday, you was out.
Her on my literal birthday, and that's part of our new topic, our hot shit. But I realize a lot of Black people don't know who K Tronada is. Shocking, shocking. And it was like at like some kind of it was avant-garde, some warehouse, and it was just a really nice time, really great company. A new friend of mine who I hope to continue to be friends with and get to know them. Just super dope, kind. Yeah, just completely kind of. I don't even think it was planned. It was just like, oh, she likes this. It's her birthday. I don't think she has plans. Let's go. And it was great. I had a great time, but I worked Friday morning. And so I was a hot ass mess at work, but I only did a half day. I went and got my hair cut by and I'm gonna rep this place. It's called Style Box. God damn it. I think the man's name was Akil. It's the only male stylist there, and I just loved him. He was asking me all about my birthday and my crush and this and that and all these things, and he was super sweet. He was meticulous with how he cut my hair. So I highly recommend him. And it was super affordable, Black owned. Hello. And he blew it out just because I was like, oh, I never do this, but he cut it curly. So if all my curly girls go ahead and hit up Style Box in Brooklyn. And then what else? That evening I hung out with my Nigerian loves, Chi and Nas, Cheese
There's a
Lady.
bunch of niggas that pulled up.
Oh yeah, their homies pulled up and Cheese Lady was there. Nas's girlfriend couldn't get off. I just love her too. But they have like balloons. They're so sweet. She's the more raggedy of the two. But Nas is just he's sitting there on time with his balloons. I didn't read the note right. I was supposed to invite people and I didn't. So I just show up and it's me and Nas and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't read this.
Yeah.
I was so tired so it just was us. But we had a good time they're just, you couldn't tell me that we ain't been rocking for like 10 years. We've known each other for going on 2. But they're just lovely. And I really appreciate their girlfriends I realize like when you have like some girl that's always posting your man and shit, how that could probably feel initially. But like they have just embraced me as well. And I'm very appreciative of that relationship because those are kind of like the men in my life right now. And then the next day was super random. I hung out with Mandy. I hung out with Nana. Nana's making me a little something special for the upcoming PVO in Washington, D.C. Child is Ciao. And then the new Black, who's a photographer. I love Black. Is what he likes to be called. Met up with us at Mood. It was very Project Runway. And he was looking at the fabric. He said, I can see through this. I said, I know. It's going to be interesting.
Oh,
he was like,
it's like that.
We're going to see. I don't know.
Wow,
I'm bringing a dress just in case. Because if I, you know me, if I get scared and just like sucker out of it, then it's that. But it is.
Will not.
She was punch me. Oh no, I know, but she would also be so angry if she makes me a piece and then I don't wear it.
So you got yourself.
I'm scared though. It's either gonna look really great or it's really gonna give bathing suit cover up. Not sure. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But it's an all Black affair, so that'll be fun. And then I ended up hanging out with Black and Mandy, and I met this amazing. Mandy's just around these incredible people. This woman who. Very unassuming, very self-possessed. I love a woman who just inhabits her body and does like this dance. She was doing this dance with Black where he was trying to understand what she did for a living and we all were aware. And she like wouldn't tell him, and she's a professional dominatrix. And so she's just dancing. She's like, I can't even do it. I'm not a woman yet. I can't, but she was like leaning in and looking at him, and it wasn't overtly sexual. It was just so in command, and she was saying, "You have a real problem when you don't get your way, do you?" She's like, "What if I told you you needed to relinquish control to me?" And I'm just like, "Oh my God!" And then he's a wordsmith, so he's going back and forth with her, and you could just. We were all just silent, sitting around the table, staring, super turned on, but they were saying nothing sexual. It was amazing. And then we hung out with him till too late.
Show and teach us.
I would love, I think she would be down too. I would love for her to do that. Then the next day, my lovely friends, my like squad, Jade and Angie and Jamie and my sister and Nana again. Nana's poor child came all the way from the Bronx. We ended up in Far Rockaway, which you don't know where that is, but it's far as hell for people who live in the Bronx.
Train or something to get on the airport.
It's
when you go into the airport.
We can do that. We did it. Oh, okay. And so we made candles because Angie is so thoughtful. Angie is very big on not just going out to dinner. She wants to do an activity. And so she researched and found like this candle making place. Aww. So we made candles. She said, I thought this would be really nice. For people who don't know, I never said this, but I am moving into my own apartment. Thank God. Soon enough. So she's saying, oh, I thought this would be nice for your new apartment. And so you can ease into your transformation. And I wish I had it. I'll look for it. She made me a beautiful ring. That the stone, I don't remember what the stone is called because Angie is the owner of Ariante's Jewelry and I wear a lot of her pieces. And the ring was for transformation. It's like a crystal in it, but it's the way it's set is just so lovely. It's like this, it's not your typical, you know, how they wrap the crystal and all that. It's not like that. It's very dainty. It's really a beautiful piece. And then we went out to eat, which is the funny part. We go out to eat, and you know that's on Jade. Jade's the chef. So Jade is fancy. Like, I was out with all my rich friends. And Jade, we pull up to this Peruvian place in Brooklyn. Ooh. Super cute.
Get your Peruvian chicken, girl?
Wait for it, okay? Super cute. And then it's freezing, though. You know how cold it was. The reservation was for 7:30. This is Sunday. And we get there, and they're like, oh, the heated patio isn't heated yet. And we were like, oh, and they didn't have any seating inside. So we all scurried and sat and we're like, can you just give us some hot water or something? Then they bring the menu, honey. Every dish is tapas. They're tapas and they're like $40 some a fucking plate. So I immediately get anxiety. I'm like, these girls are not. And so the waitress comes over. She said, the way you usually do it is I highly recommend at least 2 dishes a person. And I'm like scratching at this point. I'm so uncomfortable with the fact that these people are about to spend all of this money on me. Like I just, and they see it and they're yelling at me about it. And I'm having this internal struggle. And then the menu, I don't even understand it because I'm raggedy and I eat at Banchan. And so I'm just like, what is this? We're Googling. So a lot of it's shellfish and I can't have it. So they're getting a ton of stuff. And it's Shanti. We need to ball out and just go. This food, it was fried pig tails. I said, bring more. Mm-hmm. I could eat a bucket of this. It was some kind of
something like
the
that.
Sauces. There was like a quinoa, banana, avocado. This is why I'm struggling. Avocado, pickled red onion, bacon thing. Then there was this leek salad with there was the flavors of this food.
Did they have chicken, Peruvian chicken?
Did we have chicken? No, I didn't even see that. No, that's too basic for them.
You still have yet.
No, you can still take me there, but that was too basic. I had like sea bass and with this like white bean. It was so good. And then there was this beef dish. Oh my God. They had like these fries in it. And you would think, why are there fries sitting in this? But honey, the sauce of that beef, everything basically had avocado in it. And avocado tears my stomach up. I am about 9 months pregnant right now, y'all. My stomach is sitting out. I feel so maternal. I was sitting on the couch today working, just rubbing the sides of it. I was like, oh, this is what it would feel like. I was looking at myself in the mirror like, wow, look at me if I ever got preggers. I can't stand myself right now. So shout out to them. I had such indigestion when I got home. I ate like 3 Pepto-Bismol. And my sister is like, are you okay? And I was like, my fucking stomach is killing me, but this food is so good. I don't want them to know. So that was hilarious. But it was a lovely, lovely time. And I just felt I've never been celebrated like that. 4 days of
and
different.
then you're gonna come with our raggedy asses and be sorely be like, yo,
disappointed.
y'all really ain't the one.
That's why I'm like, can we just work out? Like, I'm birthdayed out. We can all just get together. No, I've never been celebrated like that.
You deserve, girl. 34 years old.
That was
you better.
just like, wow, it just felt so good. And it made me check myself on my narrative of, being alone because I'm single and have been single, and the love that I have in my life from so many different people. It was wild to me. Like Mandy, I woke up and she's like, oh, bitch, I missed your actual birthday.
She's a Libra
and sent me
too,
like a
right?
fucking Cash App. Yeah. Shut up. I just don't I can't even, I don't have the language for how grateful I am. And like, I don't have the language for it. I need to read more books. I don't have the language, but it was just really lovely. And I cried a hefty cry in the tub when I got home. I don't know if it was because of my stomach or if it was because I was overwhelmed by the love, but I just, and so many Around the Way Curls listeners wrote DMs, such nice messages. And I'm just so appreciative, like time, people taking time and giving me energy. It's just like, wow, I appreciate it. So yes, thank you for that. I'm working on getting more comfortable with letting people do those kinds of things for me. But I just feel like this is like, I feel expansive. I feel like so much like the theme of it and every one of the conversations that I was having on these celebrations was all around transformation and all around new things opening up and discovery. And so I'm excited to see what happens, what comes, what we create. And yeah, shout out to this year,
Your what's it called? Your personal new year.
I hate when people say that. I don't know why. I'm just a hater. No, but thank you, Queen. Anyway, just so folks know, we were supposed to have I'm so excited. We are going to have this guest on. It's not lost on us that this is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And, we have a guest who she unfortunately has an ear infection this week. We're hoping that she feels better. She's going to be joining us next week. She is a breast cancer survivor, inflammatory breast cancer survivor, young woman. You will not meet a stronger human being. She is incredibly resilient, incredibly generous. And I'm really excited to have her on. So stay tuned for that. So this episode it's all going to come together just fine. But we were planning on that, and so we're going to shift gears into something else a little later. But for right now, I would like to get into a little bit of pop culture, and this is old news in terms of the interwebs. But I'll say this: while I was with my friend Black, who he would never utter these words out of his mouth because he's just a lovely being. There were 3 gentlemen who were in the same room as he and I and Mandy. And so somehow, I don't know how it happened, but of course you have men and women in the room. They start talking about relationships. You have Mandy in the room and she's yelling about relationships. So somehow Bill Cosby and R Kellly came up, which I honestly was having side conversations. I don't know how it happened. But a gentleman who was really reserved, very quiet, he had already mentioned that he's not dating because he is quote unquote broke right now. And so he knows that, women aren't going to date him. That's not what they want. And so I was saying to him, you well, true. But yeah, I should have said that. Like, I have dated so many brokies, and some of them were lovely.
But so little.
No, but I had said to him, like, that doesn't mean that you're not deserving of love. And he couldn't wrap his mind around it. And so it signaled to me, like, okay, this is somebody who's been, like, it seems to be deeply hurt. He was really guarded, really. And it was interesting to see that dynamic around Black, who's very open, very vulnerable, very emotionally intelligent, loves to talk about how he feels, how other people feels, etc. And so this gentleman mentioned that he does not feel sorry for any of those women. And
that
so,
were victims of Bill Cosby and R. Kelley.
Yes. And so, Mandy and him are going back and forth about it. She's serving up some points, a lot of them. And then my point was, okay, so the Bill Cosby thing, like, I don't think all of them are lying, sir, but fine, if you do, cool. But the thing that's sticking out in my head is these are not women with R. Kelley. These are children. They're children. Okay? And so he's going on and on like, yeah, that's like semantics. So I'm like, that is not semantics. It's a very different thing. A 14-year-old and a 30-something-year-old, like, that is child abuse. Like, what are we not understanding? And so I offered to him, I said, well, let me explain to you about my history. And so I told him about my history of sexual violence and rape as a child and tried to explain, when you were a kid, because he said his issue was all they got to do is walk the fuck outside. All they got to do is just leave. Like, you talking about he's not chaining you. He's not this, he's not that. And so I tried to explain how a young child does not have the capacity, especially like my experience was a babysitter's boyfriend. Imagine R fucking Kelley. And my parents are with the shit. So many of them, they were. Like, imagine that your 14, 15, 16-year-old mind is being brainwashed. You don't have the tools yet. And he couldn't get that through his skull. He kind of did when he said, well, some of these girls, they just hot to trot. They just thoughts. They just this. And I said, do you think I was that? And even if they are, then that means that's coming from somewhere. That's coming from a place that they need something from us. And they're going about it in a way that might not be the healthiest. Probably isn't. It's not. But like, you have to see that as a man, as an adult, as a human. You have to see that and offer grace, offer compassion, offer empathy, offer care, not judgment of a child. So he couldn't get that. And I'm not sure what bothered me more. Then he afterwards was like, oh, are you right? Okay, I guess. And he goes, but you can't argue. He's the greatest to ever do it.
R. Kelley.
And this is R. Kelley, Robert Kelley. And I said, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like artist? Do you mean like producer? What are you saying to me? He was like, musically? Are you kidding me? Trapped in a closet? I'm like, this is definitely pulling his panties to the side. Of all the R. Kelley, that's like, this is what he's saying. I'm like, he's definitely pulling panties to the side. He's trash. So then I'm like, then he keeps talking about the production aspect. I'm like, do you know the fuck Quincy Jones is? And he goes, he's not an artist. I was like, what the fuck is he? I was like, yo, bro, what is he then? Like, what? This is when I started getting hype. I was calm the whole time. And now I'm screaming at the top of my lungs about Quincy Jones. And then he's like, he don't do no records himself. It's like, he won fucking album of the year, you dickhead. Like, he was just getting on my nerves. Then he tops it off with, well, you ain't fucking to Quincy Jones. I said, Secret Garden? Don't play with me. Barry White came and said, tell me a secret. Wow. Don't play with me, sir. And then I went to sleep and I woke up the next day and it was bothering me. So I started to like go through Quincy's catalog. You know, he did Boys in the Hood. He did The Wiz. He's done scores. He's done shit with Dizzy Gillespie.
Michael Jackson
He is the
enough to like,
Michael Jackson. I mean, we all know that Michael Jackson, but like
enough.
Tamia, Tevin,
Come on.
Dizzy. What are you talking? Frank. Bro, like, do you understand his it was just bothering me so much.
And then much exposure or sense or taste or I don't know.
You just said all the exposure, sense, taste, class. Did it like you just went in? Yeah, he was just a sloppy. It's like I'm playing, but he just, you know, he wasn't. He was a handsome, slovenly, sloppy boy is from Lean on Me. That's a joke, but it really ruffled my feathers, and it made me. I also thought to myself, like, it did. It ruffled my feathers a lot because I thought to myself, even if he doesn't know Quincy Jones, fine. Not everybody knows the dude and all that shit. But, like, you don't know who Kenneth Babyface Edmonds is? Like, you really think Arver? I just don't get it.
But so
and he was adamant. Oh, yeah. He said, people, that when I walk the streets of Brooklyn, I be hearing R all the time.
Be blasting all the time.
I just don't.
R Kellly of his talent. But he just.
I don't need to support it either. Especially now, he's like, I'm fucking R. Kellly. Like, I'm like, ew, you know, he's talking about children, right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't make you a little uncomfortable in the bed? Like, actually. Maybe I shouldn't.
Very interesting, though, that people, you know, it's a hard pass for R. Kelley, but I think a lot of people try to intellectualize and, like, really deliberate if they are going to continue watching The Cosby Show. I know a couple.
Oh, that's yeah.
I know a couple who like, I don't know them, but I heard of a couple that had to talk to each other and were like, "All right, we're going to do this," and now they decided to have their kids watch The Cosby Show. So,
I know many couples who still have their kids watch The Cosby Show.
They're like, why? What's the difference?
I don't. That's the thing.
Like
I guess
Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson, that whole thing with Michael Jackson is just completely, I feel like, has kind of hit the wall, slid down. Like that's
the Michael Jackson thing.
We've been to.
I need to do more research. I feel like I sound like Kyrie Irving. I need to do more research. But I just
do more research for Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I honestly have never. I never watched the documentary. I never listened to really.
You watched R. Kelley?
Yeah, I never watched it. No, because I don't need that shit triggers me. I don't need to watch that shit. But R. Kelley, I watch his interviews, how he still lies. I think that's the thing that gets me going, where I'm like,
and Michael.
Michael's dead. He's not still lying.
The day
He's in
that
the
he
grave.
died, he was like, what?
Don't you climb trees? Yeah, it's very interesting. But that's what I'm saying. My issue, it's not the R. Kelley music thing. It's the women calling these little girls women, and two, saying he's better than Quincy Jones and Babyface.
And Babyface.
Got a relationship with that. What the fuck?
Wow.
You know, like, I can't. Anyway, next up, Adele has a new song. Did you listen to it? No.
I never, ever listened to Adele. She was never like, I was like, oh. But I did hear, what's her name? Fuddy. Damn.
No, you got
the girl, Fidel.
Who is Fidel? Girl, go away. This episode's over.
I have my phone near me.
Who is Fidel?
She just came out with an album. And she should be more important than Adele. Come on. Oh, girl.
Adele is really good, Shanti.
Don't give a fuck about Adele.
Oh,
I never
my
really
God.
liked her music. She feels like Alicia Keys to me.
No way. Don't disrespect Adele like
she feels very vanilla.
Adele can actually sing.
She bores me. Like, all right, you can sing. You're talented.
No, I like Adele.
She cute.
Anyway. She been cute. Adele's makeup was always on point. Who is Fidel, though? I'm very
Jamaican
curious.
Shit, but she cute.
She apologized for that.
Did she?
She's dating a black man now. She knows better.
Everybody in group, black
She did. She was like, that was really fucking stupid. Sorry.
That wasn't
She's also only like 30.
I should really do that at home.
She is 30 because the album was called 30. She just names the album her age.
She's a baby. She feel like she's 35 to me. She feel like she like 42 to me.
No, she just lives. She's just been depressed and getting hurt since she was 19. I think that was her first album, 19.
Damn.
She was like, ah.
Anyway, when I find out this woman's name, I'll get back to you. But I heard her, and I was like, is that Jasmine? And Georgia was like, no. She was really upset with me.
Anyway, Adele has a new song out. I don't remember what it's called.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, but of course. Why do you think she's Fidel? I hate you. You're racist. Yeba Fidel. Okay, that is Yeba's new name. Actually, Jasmine fucks with Yeba heavy.
That bitch can sing.
Oh, yeah, she can. You saw her tiny desk?
No.
You need to get into it.
I don't know much about her.
Oh, yeah, Yeba's fire. But Adele, who is not Fidel, she has a new special coming out November 14th on CBS, I think. And I can't wait to watch it.
Like a new...
Well, she's having a special, like, you know how Beyonce had her Lemonade. Adele has something going on. She got an album coming out. And the only reason why I'm excited about this album, I was very nervous about it because the only time I hate Adele is when Jasmine is dropping a project. Because if we all remember, Adele was the one that beat Jasmine for Best New Artist, and I never forgave her for that shit. This album does not make the same Grammy, so we're okay. I already asked, like, what's the cutoff for the 2022 Grammys? Do I have to hate Adele right now, or can I like her? I know. So I'm excited for all of the people that like Adele. You should watch it. Tap into your colonizer side, Shanti. It's calling you. In other news, Eddie Winslow. I don't know his real name because I'm trash. Maybe you can Google that for me, Queen.
Oh. Charles?
Eddie Winslow. So I was disappointed. I was excited because he, you know, the Shade Room child. The Shade Room posted that he is happily in a relationship. I forget her name. Hold on.
Darius McCrae and Sydney Starr.
Is that her name, child?
I don't know who these people are. This is interesting that you chose.
So Darius McCrae is Eddie Winslow. Sydney Starr is a trans singer or artist. I don't know if she sings. And I was so happy. And then his team was like, nah. That's not true. We're denying that. But he's in a video holding her, kissing her. There's an interview where he says she's a beautiful woman. And he posts her music and in support of her. And that just made me so happy. She's quoted in saying, like, what we're doing, I feel like it's revolutionary. I feel like, you know, this is a big step for people to see that, like, trans people, this is not a weird thing. I am a woman and a person and having a quote unquote human experience, the way Dave Chappelle said, child. Not that Dave Chappelle is...
Dave Chappelle now, child.
Child, while I'm trying to pick up trans people, this is tricky. But I'm saying that it made me so happy, and then I was disappointed and deflated when they reported that his team, not him, his team was like, no, that's
you
not.
Don't got no team no more.
He's still acting in, like, Tyler or Lifetime movies and stuff. Listen, he's living off of Family Matters. He's good. But I hope that they are happy. I hope that she is happy. I hope that he is happy.
I hope she's happy and find somebody that, you know,
whose team won't do that. Because what I read, if that interview is, maybe that interview is not real, but he was completely claiming her openly as he should. So... I don't know. I was deflated on that one.
You know what's deflated me? Kanye West's haircut. Now that nigga.
That's how your hair gonna look when you cut it. If you keep playing, you need to keep letting your hair grow.
Well,
he's not Kanye West anymore. He just filed a petition and won. That his name is officially Ye or Ye. Is it? It's Ye. 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 Yay. No middle name, no last name, just Ye. So, yeah, his haircut is interesting.
Like JoJo did it. JoJo would do it 10 times. That's how I be cut my dad hair though on the low.
Every time you say, "Oh, with my dad, I'm giving a haircut," I'm like,
I'm gonna
I
take a
ain't never
picture.
seen you.
Stop fucking playing with me.
I want to see this quick
Stop playing
because
with
you have
me.
never posted like
I don't post my dad.
I know his hairline be fucked up. She ain't got no steady hand.
Yeah,
Karuna, come over here.
bloody your nose real quick. Shit.
Wow, escalated. All right, come on, let's move on. Hot shit. New segment, new topic.
You plan on doing this every week? We
gotta put the people on the new cool things, and it's gonna. Well, I think it's gonna help us try to be cooler. As I read Untethered Soul. That's Shanti's hot shit. Which I'm with the shits on it. Please tell us about Untethered Soul. What is that?
That's what I've been reading. That's been my saving grace. It's very good. We talked about it a little bit.
Are you reading or is it the audiobook?
It's actually an audiobook because I don't have the attention span. Or I don't have the quiet time. Either way, it doesn't matter.
That's just as valid.
While I'm cleaning up, my mom sent it to me. It's the audiobook. It's by Michael Singer. We touched on it a little bit when Curly Nikki was on the spot. And I feel like it's something that you have to keep hearing over and over again before it finally like starts making sense. But especially in the way that it's read, it's just been really good. I feel like we should have an episode about it again.
Please.
But it's just touching on, or again, bringing to the forefront that so many of us identify with things that aren't really of our essence, whether it be, of course, your where you were born, who you were born from, the body that you're in, and thinking that is you. And he goes even deeper to say that your thoughts are you. And if you were to really take some time to observe your thoughts and your relationship with your thoughts, you actually realize that, one, you're an insane, neurotic person and deeply troubled if you really observe your thoughts. Two, you realize that you aren't your thoughts because you are the awareness watching, like being aware of your thoughts as they come and go, which has been really...
Like double consciousness almost?
What'd you say?
Like double consciousness almost?
No, it's just you have one consciousness. It's who you are, because you're not your thoughts, right? You're not your thoughts. You're not your body, because your body changes, your body withers. Your 10-year-old body is far different than an 84-year-old body, but your consciousness within it doesn't change necessarily. But yeah, you just realize, once you realize that you're not your thoughts, or you become aware of your thoughts, you're less attached to them, so you're less carried away emotionally. You're less like going up and down, or constantly chasing this idea of...
Oh, I see. That's why you said you're aware of them. You're what is it? You're observing them. You're watching them.
You get behind them rather than get carried away with them. So when you see yourself freaking out, or you see yourself, being sad or angry or jealous, and it's just like, and you can feel yourself energetically be like, oh, let me step back and not get carried away. And it's just been a game changer these past couple weeks for me. And also because it's an audiobook. I've never listened to an audiobook.
You've never listened to an audiobook? They're lovely. I used to in college, I used to listen to the 4 Agreements in the hopes that I would become a better person. And then during the day, I would listen to the 48 Laws of Power in hopes that I would take over the world. So I was like, let me try to balance this out real quick. Like, let me just be like really...
Like, slit that bitch's wrist.
I know, it's like, never outshine the master, but outshine the master and take the motherfucking job. I was like, let me figure out how I could be both. I was always about duality, I mean.
Oh. But, yeah. So get into the audiobooks. Get into that.
And especially if you're dyslexic, I would like to make a public service announcement. I am dyslexic, as I am Batman. But like, I was having a lot of trouble with that this weekend. I think because I was so tired. I think it comes on with tiredness for me, where my eyes don't see it. So when I post and I'm like, these fucking typos, I'm really irritated because my father, growing up, I don't think I'm outing myself, but I had about 4 teachers say. My first teacher was Miss Palmer, the same woman who taught me I was Black, or helped me through that experience. She also was like, not only is your child Black, but she also is a little dyslexic. She needs to be tested. And my dad was like, what? She gonna use that as no fucking excuse? No. And he refused to even get me tested. So he would sit with me, and when I read, I would have to put paper, like a piece of paper under each line to block off the other, because my eyes get distracted. And so now it's developed where if I write a word, sometimes I'll stare at it and be like, nope, gotta come back, walk away, do something else, come back. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's spelled right. But I cannot figure it out sometimes in the moment. And I write stuff backwards now sometimes. So I don't know if it's getting worse. I'm like, okay. Or maybe I'm just stressed and my brain's sporadic. But I'm not really diagnosed because I never was tested. But I have all the, like...
You were diagnosed this whole time.
He never would let me. So I never feel comfortable saying, because he was like, you're not going to use that as a fucking excuse. These are the grades I want. Make it happen. And that's what I did. That was it. And I think you have to know your child, because I feel like if I were to know that I was dyslexic, I would have leaned into, like, oh, it's dyslexia. I'm sorry. I would have leaned into, I was smart and I was a little manipulative kid. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's my dyslexia, teach. Sorry. But his argument was also, you're good with numbers. You're amazing. That shit doesn't happen in math. You know, you can do trigonometry and all this other shit. So make the words work. So it's just really interesting. But
does dyslexia affect math? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it affects, there are people who get their numbers backwards. I remember when I was tutoring, that kid at Mastbaum was the high school in Philly, and I knew he was dyslexic. I peeped it because I would watch him. Anytime he wrote a 3, that bitch was a 5. Anytime he wrote a 6, that bitch was a 9. Like, he was just getting them backwards, and he would sometimes do his K backwards. Little things like that, where it would be like inverted. It's like, look at my little dyslexic friend. Shout out to you. You know who you are. So I don't know how I got on that. Audiobooks. Whoopi Goldberg is also dyslexic. See, there's a tie-in always. And we know I love The View. And so she highly recommends audiobooks. And that she gets anxiety, or not even anxiety. Now she's cool with it. She just says it. And so on The View, when she's reading the teleprompter, sometimes her eyes do the same thing where she's like, can't do it. And then she goes, Sonny, take it. And Sonny knows, okay, she can't see it right now. But she handles it so well. And she's so successful and brilliant that, you know. Yeah, but also she says on the audiobooks, you can speed them up and listen to them like 1.125 or 1.5 in terms of the speed, so then you can get through them quicker.
It's just great. It's like a podcast. You could do it while you're
exactly
doing things so that you're not fully present, because that's never...
Because we are actually not our thoughts.
Are terrified of being present. Anything but be present, child.
Oh, God. My hot shit is, like I said, Kaytranada. Black folks. Anytime I talk about Kaytranada, what does he do? And I say, oh, it's kind of like house, soul, hip hop. And they're like, house? That doom, doom, doom. I'm like, no, it's not that. Like, it's soulful. It's a vibe. But they will not get. I was trying to get... Right. I was trying to get Mandy to listen to it. She was like, yeah.
Mandy doesn't know what Kaytranada is?
She had no fucking idea who Kaytranada was. I was sick. So I say this, please get into Kaytranada. dive into the first album, or you know him. You do know him. You've heard the K-Tronada mix of Cranes in the Sky. You've heard the Teacher Moss song. You know him, but you need to get into his stuff too. Okay? Just do it. This next artist, I don't know how to pronounce their name. Shanti?
Khruangbin.
Squat?
Khruangbin.
It's Khruangbin. A friend put me onto them. It's 3 people killing it. Now, this might not be for everyone, right? They're musicians, they're instrumentalists, there's some singing. They've done some work with Leon Bridges. Super dope. If you just want to vibe out, you want to get in your car and drive. If you're just cleaning the house, if you're just sitting there reading a book and you want something on in the background, if you're high as shit and you're just looking up at the ceilings, you just trying to breathe deep, put this shit on and get lost in the bass lines. It's the bass lines for me. She's the bassist?
Plays the bass line. The black guy plays the drum. I guess the white guy plays whatever guitar. But they're dope. They're kind of like soulful fusion surf music inspired by and it's weird because it's like Asian inspired surf music, if that makes sense.
It's like, how do you say that word? Ethereal. How do you say
Ethereal.
Ethereal, thank you.
It's dope. They're great. They're funky. They're
funky, but they're...
Shout out to, we have,
let's go.
I think I don't know if she's not their manager. Maybe she's their road manager, but I'm not going to say her name online because she may not want to, but El Boogie, that's how I'll reference her. She manages them. And she listens to the podcast, so if you hear this.
For real?
Hi. Tell them that.
Super fire, super dope. We want to go to a show, Queen. We'll pay for it. Can you let us know, El Boogie?
Yeah.
Look at you. Shit. All right, next up. The energy was high, but this is deeply fucking disturbing. I was sick when I saw this. This made the world news. I actually was speaking to my aunt yesterday in Pittsburgh, and she was the one who said, "I'm so happy you're not moving back to that city. Did you see what happened?" I was like, "No, I didn't. I was celebrating my birthday. What happened?" Sadly, in Philadelphia, October 13th, a woman was on the subway. Excuse me, not the subway. They keep saying the subway. The woman was on the L train, which goes above and below ground. And a train that was crowded with passengers. A 35-year-old man who happens to be homeless at the time comes on and is trying to engage her in conversation. She is not interested. He then continues, again, not interested. He then pulls open her shirt and begins to rape her in front of the entire train for 8 minutes.
Oh my God.
They said. For 8 minutes, this man was raping her, and no one even called the police. No one interfered. No one yelled stop. The police were horrified telling the story. They watched the video and said everybody just kind of...
It was full-on penetrative sex?
Yes, he raped her on the train. You didn't hear about this?
I did, but I just I cannot understand that.
Mm-mm. And the person that called the police, they said that there was someone, I don't know how it worked, a transit worker, that something was wrong with the woman. Something was up. So they got wind of it and they called the police. Furthermore, no one has even stepped forward as a witness. Not that they need one because they have it on fucking camera. But now they're looking at the tape and trying to identify the people on the train because they had phones out. So they're trying to figure out, were these people videoing this? Were they shocked? Were they calling someone? What were they doing? And Philadelphia does not have the, what is it called when you're, vocabulary. What is it called when you are, that's a shame. When you're not an innocent bystander, but you're an onlooker and you help, what is it?
Citizen arrest?
No, they have that. But anyway, they don't have whatever it is where you can penalize someone for not helping, right? And so I'm just curious. I know who I am. I know how triggered I get with things like that. But I also know, like, if I see ever, we were coming out with Black, all of us, Mandy, all of us, we were coming out of the building where his studio is, and there was a girl yelling at a man, "Leave us the fuck alone, like, what's your problem?" And I immediately stopped, and everybody kind of turned and then kept walking, and I stopped and walked back and was like, "Are you okay?" I don't understand this. I can't understand it. Maybe it's because I know what it feels like to be violated or to walk down the street and be scared. But to think that on a crowded, this was not at 3 o'clock in the morning. This was not 4 o'clock in the morning. This was fucking
Did he have a gun?
rush hour, I believe, right? They didn't say he had a weapon. I watched 4 different, and this is being reported everywhere. Like India's reporting this. This is everywhere, all over the world. No one's mentioned anything about a weapon. I can't imagine. And so I guess my question is, like, obviously this man, there's something deeply fucking wrong with him. This poor woman, they're saying, oh, she's recovering, which is like, I don't know how you fucking recover from that, right? What the fuck? What do we think about these people?
I don't know. I don't understand. Something doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't make sense to me either.
Something doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I don't understand what happened, I don't understand that. I can't wrap my head around that. That almost feels impossible to me that would have happened. And in Philly that would have happened, that nobody would have done anything.
And honestly, on the fucking L.
And watch that. I really, something doesn't.
That's what I was like, on the L?
I don't think so.
With a whole bunch of men?
Even if there's a whole bunch of, if it was a whole bunch of women, like, that doesn't make something isn't, I don't know if I can even believe that. That does not make sense.
Oh, you need to believe it. You need to read it and weep.
I don't get it.
I mean, the article's right there. I put it in there. What did you say? It makes sense.
It was like a bunch of white people on the train.
That's why I said on the L. I'm confused, but they were not, when they were interviewing people, they were not, them folks was Black. I listen to them voices.
That makes no sense. I can't even see that happening, child.
Deeply, deeply disturbing. I just, my hope, and you know what? Then they started to bring it back to like the defund the police thing, and that's why that's such an issue, right? Because there's not enough police officers on the train and stuff. But my hope would be, God, it's not our jobs, right? It's not, but like, you're a human. You're human. It goes back to when we were down in Philly and that little woman was walking around and you stopped and was like, she should not be out this late. Why is she here? And everybody else walking by her. I almost didn't even see her. We just got to take care of each other.
Though. I do remember.
No, she's not a threat, but she needs help.
Nothing this serious by any means, but I do remember, I don't know if you know, there was a CVS and me walking and I hear some guy freaking out in the car, and I think he hit her. He hit the girl and she was crying. And I turned and I stopped and did just what you did, and I stopped and I stared. And he was freaking out. And then he started cursing at me, like, you know, calling me a bitch. What you gonna do, you know, bitch?
Yeah.
And then he drove off. And like, I felt really scared in that moment, because you could look at his eyes and see that he was capable of popping up. And I had JoJo with me. That's what it was also. JoJo was next to me, and I was like, I don't know what to do in this situation.
Yeah.
Aside from like try and get his license plate and call the cops, because.
But that's my thing. Maybe you can't get up and grab this guy, right? We don't know. Maybe he's so big, or maybe he was so wild. You're also standing there in shock, I'm sure, like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening? That shit would never happen in New York. I'll say that. Motherfuckers would have beat his ass.
But there's a bunch of people. How do they know?
But that's the psychology of it, is that everybody thinks somebody else is going to do something.
For 8 minutes? You know how long 8 minutes is?
fuck that. That was the thing that got me. I said that was 8 minutes long. That's like, what?
Anyway, girl.
There are people getting on and off the train in 8 minutes. I'm really saying, like, so I'm just saying we cannot assume that it's taken care of. We cannot assume that somebody else has called the police. Like those, maybe you can't get up and physically get this man off of her, but you can call the police.
Ladies,
you can hit the stop button on the train. Yes. You can get off and you can do scream.
You can pull.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand.
But they said some police were saying that they were like, just like the people just looked down, looked away, tried to avoid, like didn't know what to do. And then they said some people had their phones out. So it looked like, were they trying to call the police? And maybe they didn't have service. And they said some people just
kicked them in the balls. They could have like pushed them.
I think there's also the dynamic of the gentleman, or not the gentleman, the asshole being homeless. So then that puts the dynamic because there's a stigma about that. Oh, they're crazy, which something the fuck is wrong with him, right? Like, obviously. But they're this, they're that, they're dangerous, they're dirty, they're this. And so you retreat.
God help her, Lord.
Exactly.
Be with her. She has to recover from so much.
So much. How she feel protected in this world? So I mean, I bring this up not to just put a damper on things, but to really have us all think about being vigilant, being watchful, being loving with one another. Like, we have to take care of each other. We have to.
I also think we should all get some weapons. Get some fucking mace.
Listen. Yeah, I just had somebody say that to me. Like, I have a knife that I used to carry, but it's illegal because of the size of it.
My dad was just talking to me about it today, child.
Was he?
Yeah, he was like, you need to get a knife. My dad gave me a shank. The knife is this big. He's like, you just put it on.
I feel like I've seen this. I feel like
I can't walk around with that.
I remember you showing me that, and I was like, you can't. You will get arrested.
Are you fucking kidding? Put it in your bag.
They have those keychain things. I know when I walk home from parking my car late, I have my keys in between my knuckles. I have that shit ready to go, and I have my phone out and ready to hit
you may
call.
Keychains. You may need to get a little knife, and some women may need to get like a gun. I ain't scared to get a gun, child. Anyway, this is getting really.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, but I was just so upset when I saw that. And then the next thing for politics, we'll move on, pray for that woman, and pray for those fucking people that watch, because you got to live with yourself. But Colin Powell died of COVID complications, and a lot of people are, saying that it's because he was vaccinated, which is just okay. But Colin Powell is someone who fought in how many wars and died of COVID. Now, he's also
84 years old.
Mid-80s, 84, right? Complicated relationship with, legacy, but still a man who, people make mistakes. Still someone who, prominent figure, did a lot and, suffered with cancer and things like that. So it's just a reminder that this shit is still out here. I just took my little COVID test. I have another one that I could take a little later on in the week from my little birthday celebrations, but just a reminder to take care of yourselves, keep his family in prayer. And now I don't think it's the time to use his death to further one argument or the other around vaccinations or not vaccinations, and to have the conversation around his legacy and him and the weapons of mass destruction. Just let the people who need to mourn his death.
Girl, I don't know who died and you was all like, let that nigga rot in hell. I don't know, some white guy died. That was not your tone at all last year. I can't remember what it was.
For real? Yeah. He probably needed to rot the fuck up. Who was it?
Whatever.
That was last year. You bring up old shit. I've gotten better.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm loving light right the fuck now.
Okay.
But as soon as I get lonely and sad again, I don't feel this love. I'm gonna be like,
Actually, whatever white man died, whatever
who was it?
I don't know.
Oh, it must have been a terrible human.
Okay.
Oh, who was? I think I know. He died from COVID.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, child.
I think I know.
Now you all just let that legacy of mass destruction, which hundreds of thousands of innocent people were killed. Just let that.
Well, he didn't do it. I mean, he fell in line with the.
He supported same way those people ain't do it, but they knew what was going on.
I called him Colin.
Colin.
His name is Colin
Powell? No, it's Colin Powell.
All right, it's time to go. It's Colin. Why I just call him Colin? I hate it here.
Colin, isn't it?
But it's not Colin.
What if this nigga's name is... That is a white black man's name.
What if he changed it like, no, that's too white. Y'all tripping.
It is Colin.
It's not Colin. God. We were sounding so smart this episode. I feel like we was doing all right. We was talking about being untethered.
Disgusting name as well.
So Colin Powell passed away.
It's not Colin.
It's Colin Powell. Now you freaking me out. You freaking me out now. Now I'm fucking stressed. I'm sweating, yo. Google that shit. Right the fuck now. Right now. I hate it here. Oh God. I need to ask you got me second guessing myself, and
English.
It's not
correct pronunciation is Colin.
It's not Colin. You don't say it like that.
Is a mispronunciation of the name.
It's not Colin. It's somewhere in between them bitches, but it's not like Colin.
Colin
it's not
Powell.
That. Oh my God. It's Colin Powell.
How to pronounce?
What was I saying?
You saying Colin Powell? We niggas.
No, I wasn't.
Hey guys, welcome to
Wait, I'm Googling it. Hold on.
doctor's office that's providing
These goddamn.
chat news. General Colin Powell.
Colin. Don't do this. Don't do me. I gotta go. I listen. I watch the news. I'm embarrassed. So I just want to say thank you to the new patron, Raven G. I apologize that you joined us. And this is how we are. I also want to thank all the people who have rated and subscribed and shared Around the Way Curls. Shout out to you. You know who you are. We had a lot of new people come through and say, oh, I'm new. I'm catching up on episodes. I'm loving this shit.
Oh, God. Shout out
Welcome to the wonderful world. We apologize for the audio. Ciao.
I'd be like, delete.
I'd be like, they sound crazy. It sounds like they in a wind tunnel. Like, I just want y'all to know that you now hear that Shanti agrees that sound was awful. She was fighting me. I want to get
that. I want the fact that we would have scratching, and then sometimes, like one episode, the sound was beautiful, and then it said, you did your uta thing, and then all of a sudden we're in an echoey room. It was a mess. It was a mess. But sometimes it would be all right. But it was.
Are you trying to blame it on the editing, or
No, one of it was we were together. And then the next one we were separate, and there were obviously technical difficulties.
Oh, okay.
It was.
I feel I remember that one, and I was cringing.
I think it was when we lost that amazing interview with JoJo.
With JoJo, exactly.
We just had to do the whole thing over again because all I know is in the mid of it, we're like, I can't believe we're having to re-record this all again, and we both sound very tired. But anyway, girl, shout out to y'all.
We're doing all right. Episode 151, baby. We working it out. I will also say where I'm moving is about to be loud as hell. So I don't know what's going to happen. Because it's right on Nostrand and it's in Flatbush and it ain't right over there. You about to hear all the patois, all the... You can hear the dog.
It sounds in New York. New York.
Yeah, so, but anyway, thank you for rocking with us. Please rate, subscribe, do all the things. I'm nervous right now because I hear myself somehow. I hope I'm not loud in your headphones, but we're gonna work this out. So yeah, we're gonna take a little break. Shanti, can you please take us out? We'll be back with our main topic.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Boop. Oh, hold on. They saying my Mac is about to die. Why am I letting my work? Oh. I've been sick. That's a new feature. All right, what time is it? Did they tell you? 104.
You can hear yourself in the headphones?
I could hear it a little bit. I have anxiety. But I'm not going to let it get to me, child. Not tonight. It's been hard enough in this world. Kintsugi. All right. You watched the video?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, we got to talk about Teresa hit me. She's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't see these messages. Teresa, the designer. All right, I'm coming back in. You ready?
Oh, Eve's pregnant.
We didn't talk. And we are back. There's one thing that we forgot to say. The queen. I'm fucking up. What, how do you describe her?
Brilla's pit bull in a skirt.
Brilla's pit bull in a skirt.
It's having a baby.
The Broad Street bully is having a baby.
I'm telling you, y'all. I truly do believe
EBE.
that it is.
Don't say something fucked up. What are you about to say?
And white penises be really, whatever. Just kidding.
Us.
But good job for Eve. Like, that's her boo. Like, she fucks with him heavy. I think they really do love each other.
He fucks with her heavy. She loves him.
He's taking care of his white kids, and now they're about to have a little biracial kid.
I'm so excited for her. She looks so cute pregnant, which probably means she was pregnant during Versus, and that just makes it all better.
Which also, I don't know
we ain't
how
talking about
old
Versus.
she is,
I didn't see it.
But
that's why.
Y'all better know. Y'all take care of yourselves, and you will be able to conceive. Don't let this, what's it called? The clock get you stressed the fuck out.
Her husband is also a billionaire, so he could probably buy her a new uterus if he wanted to.
It doesn't work like that.
I feel like it does. When you have access and you have resources, not everybody, but what I'm saying is a lot of people can. And Gabby was able to spend a lot of money on infertility treatments. Or fertility treatments, rather.
It's the child. Gabby's child and...
Yeah, they just had a surrogate. So she has something where she could carry. But you can't see how that baby is their kid?
It looks like him.
Period.
I don't see her so much.
Kavia. Anyway. We're back. We are back. And this is something that I've wanted to talk about for a little bit. And I was reminded again by my friend Black. Because he talks about it a lot.
He keeps talking about Black.
Why you gonna punch him in his face? He said he wants you to come up here too and bring the babies. I think I told you that. You said no.
Bring his babies.
Bring the babies, because I want Sean to come up here so he could take an art class. Anyway, we're off topic. But my friend talks about this a lot. And it is a Japanese practice called Kinsuki. And Kinsuki is basically, and I posted about this years ago. Excuse me?
What is it? Kinsuki?
Kinsuki. Kinsuki. That's how I was told to pronounce it, because I asked many times. Okay. But basically, it's this Japanese practice where you have these ceramics, right? And the tale is that this Japanese king, emperor person had a favorite bowl from China, and the bowl broke. And so he wanted the bowl fixed. And so the way that this bowl was fixed was that it was put back together and sealed with this sealant that was gold. And so you have all these cracks and things, but you don't have them anymore because it's this bowl that's now pieced together and has these gold kind of lines through it where it was once broken. And so he said the bowl is now more beautiful than ever. Hence the birth of Kinsuki. Now, kin actually means golden, and sugi means rejoining. So you have a golden rejoining. And so this was always really interesting to me. And I think I posted it right after my little breakup, where that idea of something once being broken, and then when it pieces itself back together, it's more beautiful than it was before, was really appealing to me. And I didn't have the tools then to really reflect and dissect it and figure out what it meant to me in terms of my own journey, but I knew that it meant something. I knew that I related to it in a way that that was meaningful. So I recently found this video on YouTube where this woman is breaking down this Kintsugi. And she's actually, forget her name, God damn it, but she's a psychotherapist, and she broke it down in a very practical way that I wanted to share and discuss with you, Shanti. So if we break down the process, right, we begin with the bowl. And so she says art often imitates life. She believes that it always does. So she looks at the bowl and she says to herself, this bowl is like, it represents you or an aspect of yourself, right? And then the practice is you put a cloth over the bowl, and that cloth represents what holds us together. It could be a mother's love. It could be a spiritual practice. It could be your own resilience, whatever that is, whatever holds you together and keeps you sturdy. That is the cloth. And so you take this cloth, you wrap it around the bowl, and then you have a hammer. And the hammer is a teacher. The hammer is an instrument for change, she says. And it can destroy, but it also can build. It also can bring things together. So you take this hammer and you, while the bowl is wrapped in the cloth, you crack the bowl. The bowl is now in pieces wrapped in this cloth. So you have this bowl in your hand that was once whole and solid, and you feel the pieces in your hand. And this is the process. This is where she says, this is the point where we like to skip over, where you have your hand full of these broken pieces wrapped in the cloth that was once what held you together so easily. It failed to do so. You still somehow broke. And so she said that the process around this is where you need to feel around and notice the broken bits. You need to examine them instead of resisting the urge to fix it immediately. And this is the uncomfortable part. This is often where shame is involved. And this is where we like to hide from ourselves, right? This part of the process. So once she's done with that part, she's examining the cracks. She's feeling all of the pieces, the weight of it. She opens the cloth up. And now this is the connection part. This is where you take the examining and you figure out how to heal. And you begin putting the pieces back together with some sort of bonding, right? And the bonding is stronger than what was there in the first place. And so as you put the pieces back together, of course, if you've ever tried to put a vase or a piece of ceramic back together, there's these holes, there's these cracks, there's these nooks that where it will never fit the same. And so those things can represent loss, but they can also represent space for new information, new goodness, new abundance, new everything to come on in to the bowl. And then once you do that and the bowl is bonded, you then take a very fine file and you begin on the outside of the bowl to file away, right? You file the pieces that aren't quite flesh with one another. And so that symbolizes you filing away what is no longer necessary, right? What is not necessary in my life. I pieced it back. I'm feeling better, but now there's still stuff I gotta get rid of. There's residual stuff that I have to let go of. And then you take the gold, and the gold is the glory, she says. And you don't take the gold to cover up the cracks. You take the gold and you paint within the cracks to highlight the journey, to highlight the mapping, to beautify what was once broken, and to signal that you're better than ever now, and you're better for the crack. And so I watched this video and I think to myself, damn, I want to identify what these things are in my life, right? I want to do this every time I crack. I want to be in practice of Kinsuki and say, okay, I don't need to rush this process, because that's really what stood out to me when she sat there with the broken pieces in her hand and said, you got to feel this. That's like, Shanti, when you say to me, accept and endure. It's the accepting part. I just want to go straight into endure. And so I want to work through this with you, and I want to identify some points in our life, maybe identify our bowl. I think it's us, or maybe it's an aspect of relationship or whatever. Identify our cloths, identify the hammer, talk about the process, talk about the glue, the connection, the filing, and then the mapping.
Okay. Well, all right.
All that, and she's like, okay. So what's your bowl?
I guess for me it would be my identity. What I think, the roles that I think I have now, or what I should have. So yeah, what's your bowl?
I think it's similar. I think it's the expectations I've had for myself and what I've envisioned, who I will be, what I will have, what my life will look like. It's not anything what I ever thought. And so and I think it's also what I still project and possibly think. That's my goal, like what I think I've told myself that I'm supposed to be. What's your cloth? What holds you? The cloth is what holds you together. The cloth is like your mother's love, a spiritual practice, like what keeps you going, what makes you resilient in the world, how your bowl has been protected so far.
Girl, I don't know. I think I have to wake up every morning. Like it's just the
but
energy
what helps
that
you do that?
The energy of life, my life source keeps me going.
Okay.
I don't have anything or anyone in my life that I'm like, I have to do this for them. Not even JoJo was like,
I don't know if it's a for them. It's just the help, the hug, the like, I've got you, I'm gonna shepherd you along. That whatever that is, it could be you knowing that there's a light source and energy.
It would be that. Then I think it would be my own internal faith that, but yeah, just the energy that is within me and all of it is shared. It's not individual to me or special to me, but it's just like the energy that we all have. That I feel, that I think I want to know and understand more, but I feel and know exists, perhaps.
Got it. So I think mine is similar. I think mine is love. I attach the energy source and God with love. That's what my spiritual practice is love. And so my relationships where I feel love, my friendships, it's my mother's love, it's my father's love, it's my sister's. It's that, because I think that's where God lives, in that. What's your hammer? What's your teacher? What's your instrument for change? So many,
Hammer,
right?
so many.
Pick one, right?
I think basically, like, you know, if I feel like it's just the daily discomfort that one feels in your attempt to feel the daily. If I feel like the bowl is my identity, the hammer is the constant discomfort that I feel in trying to assume this identity. If that makes any sense, it's like there's an inescapable unrest and discomfort that I think I experience, and that can be, and that comes up at different, not frequencies, at different, in varying degrees, right? The discomfort, because sometimes it's, you know, I could be feeling that my identity should be in a relationship or in motherhood or in work or in friendship or and as a spiritual student, and constantly in all of those different assumed identities, I'm constantly feeling discomfort and feeling unrest because, you know, I'm still trying to figure out why, but I feel like all of those are constantly at some point or another being broken down, being destroyed in some way.
Okay. I think if my bowl was how I've imagined my life would be versus what it is now, I think it would be, I'm going to pick one. I'm going to get real specific. I think it's me being single, me being childless, and me navigating happiness and wholeness within my complete self, and finding that to be valuable and being content there and feeling the love that I get, and recognizing it as that, as what I've been asking for, just not the way I'm told that it's supposed to look. And dick. No, I'm playing. But no, that would be my hammer of. So I think my hammer is honestly the disappointment I feel when I feel rejected romantically, because it feels like, ooh, or a hurdle where it's like, this isn't going to work. It feels like, damn, I'm still not going to get there. This is not how I imagine my life to be. It's also where I expect it to be in terms of financially owning property, this and navigating like, oh, I live in New York. I don't make enough fucking money to own nothing here. Like, and navigating my value, my worth, even though
But ultimately,
I know that I'm worthy.
You're looking for in those things, in a partnership, in ownership, is a sense of happiness or like security or connection.
Secure. It just is like what I was taught. That's what you do. Right?
Because you're wanting.
And now I'm really okay with, what if I never own a fucking thing and me and Bae just, or me alone, right?
But the
just travel the world. Right. What if I'm just happy?
Yeah.
But the hammer comes in when I lose that right groundedness and that clarity of like, actually, your life can look like this too, and you might be okay, Sheila.
Yeah.
When I lose that in the disappointment of something not coming through, something, not developing.
That you think is going to guarantee that happiness.
Or that picture.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ain't happy with that picture. So that's a whole other topic.
Exactly,
child. So yeah, I think it's the disappointment of, love lost, opportunity lost, those things. Hammer, crack. Especially love lost for me. That's like for anyone, I think. Okay. So now we're at our process, right? This is where you're sitting there. Your cloth has not protected you. That energy that usually sustains you didn't, right? Or it did, but it doesn't feel like it did. And now you're cracked.
Well,
Your
that's what
bowl
I
is
think I have
cracked.
wrong then. I don't have the cloth right then. I don't quite understand the cloth example, but
The cloth is like what shields you, what holds
nothing.
you.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't understand. Yeah, something that you think was going to shield you?
no,
Because
something
it
that
can't
does,
be
something that's your safety net.
but it's obviously not safe if you cracked even with it covering you. So it's what you assume is going to be a safety net.
Well. I think it is. I think the point of this is the cracks are necessary. So I have all the love in the world from you girls, right? From you, Jazz, Amanda, yada yada. That helps keep me going every day. That helps make me feel good. That helps keep me motivated. That fills me with so much joy. It cannot protect me though when a relationship falls apart. I've been cheated on. I've been this. I've been that. It can help me. It can still cover me and hold me and tell me it's going to be okay. But I still crack. There's still a chip, a nick. It's like if your child, you have a child, you protect your daughter every day as best you can. If she falls off her bike and skins her knee, she cracked.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're still there to hold her, though.
Then I guess
You're
it
her
would be
cloth.
relationships. It wouldn't be what I said. I didn't quite understand that. But anyway,
She
okay.
was like, fuck spirituality and energy. What y'all talking about?
Because I think that is actually, that can protect you. I think that is.
It can.
But yeah, okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not
It can
going to
teach
have
you as well, though.
difficult.
I think it's possible that your cloth can also be your hammer.
Yeah. All right, I got it. We're back. I keep what I said.
We're back.
It's not relationships.
All right, she's derailing us. So then the process, when you feel around these broken pits, why do I keep saying pits? Bits, what's your process?
I don't know. I think I'm still looking at the broken bits. I'm not in a space of like, I don't think I'm a gold gleaming bowl that's better than it was before. Broke it down.
I think that's interesting. I think this process repeats, rinse and repeat. I think you crack a whole bunch of times till you're all golden.
Yeah, I mean, I think I guess with like a recent feeling of loss or like being tempted to think that something, my identity in this one thing was going to equate to happiness or like feeling a deep sense of content and like purpose and stability. I think with the loss of that in this moment, as I'm grieving that, I feel healthy in my mourning. I don't feel depressed. I don't feel like, in terms of that energy that I'm talking about, I don't feel depleted of that. I feel like I'm like working with it, and I feel like I'm moving through something, and I feel like I'm surrendering to the reality of what is in a way that feels really healing in a lot of ways, where in the past I think I would have fallen apart and like I think I would have been depressed. I think there's a difference between feeling depressed and then like mourning or grieving something.
Yep.
And I feel like there's still curiosity, and there's still like space in a way where before it felt like there's a vacuum and there's no possibility and everything's gone and it's black and like, there's no hope for the future, or there's no hope in this at all. And like, woe is me. And that I feel like I can do this. I feel like I don't feel like this is the first time that this has happened, but I feel like for whatever times that I've grieved before, I've lost before, I feel like it has put me in this space where I feel far more centered and balanced and expansive, to use your word. I don't feel like that it's done, and I'm just I just feel like, okay, this is what it is, and like,
because you've cracked before and you have gold.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking at it all right now, and it's broken. I'm like, oh, this is really sad. I really liked that bowl before. I was fucking that cereal up in this bowl. I was wanting to put oatmeal in it and soups, and now I can't do that. But wow, there's something. I'm sad that that's gone, but also like it's not. There's still so much that can be put together, and the ability to mourn what is gone while also not quite sure what you're going to create with the next thing feels it feels like you can't break the thing. It's a gift. It's still a gift. It's like, oh, it's a different thing. I have a new bowl to create, but it feels like it's still a gift. It's not gone, you know? So,
well, the hammer builds as well.
Yeah.
So my process, my looking at the broken bits, I think right now, or before I didn't look at them. I didn't want to look at them.
Oh, what would you do?
I gotta fix it. I gotta feel better. I gotta get out of this. Whatever, I know this is wrong to feel like this.
Yeah.
This is not productive. This is not good. I don't have time for this. This person doesn't get to do this to me.
I'm about to go.
Or this thing doesn't get
gym.
to do.
I'm about to get my hair trimmed.
You hear me?
I'm about to look real good.
I'm going to start running. I'm going to start this. I'm not saying any of that's bad.
No.
Right? What I'm saying is the intention behind it was rooted in not wanting to see the broken bits and not wanting anyone else to really see them. And I think since we've started this podcast, I've really gotten comfortable with my broken bits and being really honest, like, boop, here's my broken bits, y'all. And I think that because of the community that we've created, I feel somehow safe, especially with you, to do that. And I feel good knowing that other people are looking at their bits too, right? So we're looking at our bits together now. And now I don't feel so scared because I'm seen and they still fuck with it. You know, it's like, oh, okay, this is okay. All right. So now with these broken bits, I'm looking at them and I'm curious to see the map. I'm curious to see, like, when I put this together, you know, like the bits don't scare me anymore. I'm ready to piece them together. I'm ready to put them together. And I can't wait to see all of the trails I've been on and like learn from them and acknowledge them and honor them and know that they were so necessary. And it wasn't because something was wrong with me. It wasn't because I was this, I was that. These experiences didn't happen to me because I'm somehow unworthy. They happened so that I could get my gold. That's how and that's where I'm at now. And I'm liking the process of piecing them together. I like seeing these videos and being like, oh shit, the discovery of it all. Oh shit, I was moving like this. Yeah. The discovering of life, the discovering of me, growing, right? Who am I going to be after my next crack? You know, my next chip. Maybe it's not a full crack. Maybe it's a little nook. But every time I get chipped, I'm like somebody new. And I fuck with her a little more. Because 20 something, 25, 24-year-old Aunt who was messing with Boom Doom and carrying on in college, I can't really stand her. But like this girl, you know, I have compassion for her, but I'm so happy 34-year-old Aunt is here.
Yes.
So then you have the filing away. So even when you put it, you've already glued your bits. You're looking at your bowl. It's a little jagged. It's a little like, it's not smooth, right? I'll start. For me, there's always a little more to give up. I think we can piece ourselves together and try to hold on and for me, try to hold on and have the awareness of like what we need, why we need it, right? What's meant for us, and still try to hold on to the things that aren't, even if they're like a touch away, even though we know like, or try to coerce that thing to fit into our bowl, our new bowl, knowing damn well that bowl don't fit, child. That piece don't fit into this crack no more. I'm new. It's a new structure. You don't fit here. And that's okay. So that's when I think about the filing away, I realize how tightly, because I love my relationships with people so much and places, right? That's this like expansive, transformative thing where like I'm moving. I have all these new people in my life from all different parts of my life. And I've let go of people who've been around for 14 years, of this many years, of that many years. I've let them go. And that filing, people that I never could imagine I could ever let go. Friends that I thought would be right or, you know, forever. And it's not an anger. It's not out of anger. It's you don't fit into my bowl. And I don't fit into yours anymore. What's yours? What's your stripping away, your filing?
I think I've just been meditating on life unfolding, right? Like if you think of something, you think of a flower unfolding, it happens at its own pace. It happens beautifully and slowly. And it's not something, again, to be rushed or to be controlled. And I think that we often resist or resent the way that our lives are unfolding. And I think similar to you, it has to be kind of like surrendering to its unfoldment. Like we definitely influence, we definitely the stars of the directions in which our lives are unfolding. But I think that we have to relinquish thinking that we can control shit. Just like you said, sometimes you get that tap on your conscience. This person has to go. You get that tap on your intuition, you know, to do this, to take this leap, to whatever
this job has to go.
Huh?
This job has to go. This approach to the work has to go.
This has to happen. Or, you know, people, especially people, or most importantly, which I think is, I think us as a podcast and even our journey in podcasting and the topics that we talk about, I think so much, there's like levels to it in that we have to name what happened to us. And we have to like connect the dots of like, oh, this thing happened to me. And then you have to look at it and say, it caused me a lot of pain. And like, it's influenced my relationships. And it's caused this kind of conditioning me in this particular way. And then the next level to that is you have to let that go. Like at some point, we can't be we aren't the things that we are, but we aren't the things that happen.
We're observing them,
right? You have to like let that go, and you have to let your life unfold in a different way. And that's really hard. But I think that's the next level of us being like, oh, but we got to let that go. We got to let these narratives go. We got to let
Not only do you have to let it go, you have to let the other stuff in.
You have to let that, you got to let it go so you let that dick in, girl.
Oh my God. Because that's the thing. The cracks are, they show the crack, what you lost, but that crack lets the other stuff in. That crack makes room.
I feel like I'm sealing up my crack so nothing can ever get in again. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, obviously Shanti needs a joke break. So go ahead, tell us a joke. I do that show all the time. So now we're at the final stage of the mapping. The highlighting of the journey. The gold is the glory. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And I think we have to remind ourselves that it's not to cover anything up, just like you just said. It's to name it. The gold is naming. Right? Watch, this is not the process of Kinsuki at all. Could you imagine? Like, actually, you put the gold in with the liqueur. Like, what do y'all even talk about? Like, that's not even how it works. But I mean, dope podcast, but that's not even a process.
Go off, yo, ignorant, appropriating ass.
Right, stupid bitch.
I don't know. I don't understand what you meant by the naming part. I think that is just the whole.
Your name
process is making it is
it is, but I'm saying that's like you titled it. Like now I'm putting, like if I have a scar right here, it's like it's like Michael K. Williams having that scar. And that is his gold. When he finally accepted that and made that's part of me.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. A crack.
That's it. So that shit break again. And you got to rebuild it all. And it's a never ending cycle until it's just
exactly. Hopefully it's not. Shit. Because if you just walk around here with your one little sliver of gold, you got one map, child. You saying shit like R. Kelly's the best producer in the world. The fuck are you saying?
Oh.
I'm saying, like, that's the thing. You gotta, the more gold, the more beautiful. And that doesn't mean, I want to emphasize this, that doesn't mean that we are romanticizing struggle and pain and saying, in order to be beautiful, you have to go through bad stuff. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying in life, shit happens.
Inevitably. I think we all have to, and that's, shit is uncomfortable. And it doesn't mean you failed or you're any less than or any of these things. It's just, child, it's just the way that life unfolds. It's the material world. What you gonna do?
Well, this is Kinsuki, around the way curl Kinsuki. We don't know if it's the real shit.
It says Kintsugi.
It's not stew. It's
Stugi.
This is Japanese. It's not Kintsugi. G. It's not that. God damn. Did you listen to the video I sent you?
Yeah, but I wasn't listening to pronunciation. Bitch, you can't even say Colin Powell right. So don't be.
I said Colin Powell.
Colin.
You're like, it's Colin.
It's Colin Powell.
Colin. It's not Colin. Y'all, it's so hard. When you second, she makes me second guess so much. And I was really going to say that man's name was Colin, and I apologize.
What is his name?
It's Shanti. I played it. It's not. It's Colin Powell. I watch the news so much. I love.
They be saying Rihanna's name wrong for forever, so Rihanna. I don't trust what the people say. They be fucking everything up.
There's somebody else's name that I realized we saying it wrong. Who was it?
Beyonce is really Beyonce.
No, it's somebody.
So don't be listening to what they say, Joe.
Snow Algeria.
Deli. What's her name? Della.
What'd you say? You say
the
Cadell.
New Adele is Della. Fella.
You said Cadell.
Adele.
And his name is Yeba. I hate it here.
Yeah, some double syllable John. Adele. Yeba. We're gonna be all right. Anyway, this shit is corny and it hurts. So, Humpty Dumpty, I don't like this Humpty Dumpty life. This shit is for the birds.
She's like, anyway,
Fuck
if I
that
need some
shit.
gold, I get some fucking grills.
Like,
Fuck all this cracking.
fuck all this
Heard you,
bullshit.
sis.
I'm trying to be a plate. They got a better existence. I'm trying to be a plastic plate, my nigga. Like, be styrofoam.
Wow. Wow. After all the stuff you said about recycling on this podcast.
Fuck that. I'm trying to live here for a bajillion years. Never decompose or nothing.
Live in that whale's stomach. Shit.
Try to live in a turtle for a minute.
Yo, did you see the thing? This shit was wild to me. A shark, they had like a net of a fish, and the shark put his mouth to the net and was sucking the fish through the net.
Is it brilliant?
And the caption was, "Shark learns how to steal fish from net." And I was like, what kind of crazy ass caption? How the shark stealing fish? We in the shark's ocean taking the fish.
I'll tell you, the white man got us fucked up.
I was like, that shark is genius, and was like, I'm going to navigate. I don't know what kind of seaweed this is, but I can suck through that.
Survival of the fittest. I've been here for 1 billion years. You're a weird little fleshy fucking.
I don't know how we got on this. Anyway, everybody, this episode's over. No, for real. This is something I wanted to talk about. Very love and light this week, I feel. Maybe we're gonna be love and light next week too. Money and Dicks will join us again in November. So maybe we will actually get some money and possibly some dick. Who knows? Most likely not. So pray for us.
Get on a consistent money and dicks thing. When you start getting consistent dick, I can't wait to hear how this content changes.
Girl, I'll be like, I'm busy. I can't even record, bitch.
That falls apart. You're like,
oh, the podcast. What podcast?
Monday.
Can we do every other week? I just feel like this is a lot. I can't maintain my relationship. No, I won't do that. Maybe. I will. I'm not sure.
Girl, I will put past you.
Watch, the person that I'll like finally really fall for will be like some kind of monk person who only has sex to procreate or some shit. I just have this feeling that that's the next being that's coming my way. And then I'm going to love them enough to be like, oh, all right. Let me try that. I had a dream about that. That's why.
They only have sex to procreate?
Yeah, I had a dream that the person I fell in love.
Just so you know.
Oh, maybe that's why I had the dream, because I was hanging around.
It's a very hard Krishna-ass thing to say. Sex is only for procreation.
Don't get racist. Come on, we gotta go. We gotta go. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm so sorry. Shanti apologizes. We will see you next week.
It's a pleasure in this material body.
Like, we are not my bodies, but also can I come inside of yours?
But also rub me, touch me, tease me, feel me, and caress me. Don't let go. Ever, please. That's what I'm saying.
All right. That's it. Thank you all so much. You know what we haven't done in a while? If you would like to call us, what is the phone number? I really need to learn this by heart. Like, this is ridiculous. It's 215-948-2780. That is 215-948-2780. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. And we will be back next week with another episode of Around the Way Curls. With that, Shanti,
we are done.
We are out.
Break open, y'all. Fall apart. Shatter. Throw it against the wall.
That wasn't... All right. We're done. Bye. 148.
That shit felt like for so long.
Because we wasn't bullshitting. We've definitely had longer episodes where we're like, and then Jason Momoa was going to do this to me. And I was like, what? Lisa Bonet pussy crazy. I was like, what are we talking about? I hate
crazy though. That bitch. We gotta put a list of bitches that probably got the crazy pussy. I want to know what men.
Definitely Erykah Badu. Definitely Lisa Bonet.
Erykah? Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely that lady that I met the other day.
She probably don't even like sex on the low. She probably not.
Doesn't mean she doesn't. Her pussy's not crazy.
I feel like you have to
Definitely
enjoy sex
me.
to have good. You have good pussy.
Did you hear what I said? You just ignored that.
What'd you say?
I think your mom does on the
Yo.
low. My mom is mid, but your mom is out here, yo. She said, I got sick of orgasming.
I think my mom is up there.
Your mom is up there.
Yoinkums. Wow.
She gotta come on, yo. You playing. You not giving the people what they want. She like, what is this? What are you guys talking about?
For me,
well, in Palestine. Look. I stood there whole time, a queen. Now my back hurt, my knees hurt. Oh. Oh.
What's a white?
Oh no.
Another white besides my white mom.
I think Helen Mirren has fire vagina. I got a thing for Helen Mirren. I don't know what that's about. Who else?
About this. I want to hear a man tell me.
You know who I don't think? Oh, they all gonna say Neil Long. They all gonna say Neil Long. I don't think. Janet probably doing some weird shit, but I don't think it's all that fire. I don't think Jill's is all that.
I don't think it's Beyonce.
What you think about Rihanna?
Yeah, Rihanna seems like she's a pillow princess, though.
Really?
She might have that good thing, but she might be a little bit like a pillow princess, which is cool. I feel like I'm a.
There's a girl who's like missionary only. You gotta throw it back. You could throw it back at missionary.
What did you say?
Anyway, huh?
What did you say?
Nothing.
Turn the headphones down.
I gotta wet my hair. It's time. You okay, Sheila? Oh, let me stop recording so I could talk to you for real.
Fine. I'm good. You're still recording. Everything is everything, and what is meant to be will be.